are listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
My personal belief is that there is very compelling evidence that we may not be alone.
There has been and is an existing presence, an ET presence. It's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change reality.
I believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You are listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Are we on? It's live? Oh, okay, we're live. All right, get us clear, all right. There's some reason the camera... Welcome to the show. It's a Sunday special, everybody. Glad you can make it. Tonight I want to talk about, it is Sunday, August 27th, 2023. Is that better? Isn't that nice? So, I did a little bit of thinking this weekend. I don't like what's going on. Nah. Why does the Mexico government need to have babysitters at their UFO congressional hearing September 12, 2023? Why do they need graves? Why do they need anyone from America, Great Britain, anywhere? You have your own sightings, your own pilots, your own Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine. I know, you got something over there. You got enough. What do you need them for? Well, I'll tell you why in a little bit. But I don't like it. I don't like it. Hold on. All right. It affects the credibility of what the Mexico government is trying to do. Yeah, I know they invited Graves and probably will invite the others, whoever. It doesn't make sense other than the American government spoke with them and said, hey, you want to know something? If you got Graves, an American pilot, to come over there, boy, would that boost credibility. Would it? Would it? You know, somebody put this into my mind. I don't know who it was. Maybe Sapphire, maybe somebody else. I can't remember. But one thing stood out during the last subcommittee hearing with Graves, Grush, and Fravor. Grush was the number one guy. Fravor was the definitely number two guy. And Graves, well, he never saw anything. He was just there in the mix of the, all those sightings everybody else saw. But he didn't get a lot of airtime. Is this a way to give him the airtime that he so desperately seeks for his ego? Should he have turned down the invitation? I don't know, man. I don't like it because it makes me feel like our government can't keep their nose out of anybody's business. They just can't. Just STFU, do your own shit with your little fake arrow and all your fake little friends and stories, and have your own shit. Keep doing what you're doing by taking ufology 2 steps backwards with a bunch of lies and no evidence. Keep doing that, government. Let's do a little roll call. Jeanette! Wow, thank you very much for the £5, £5 super sticker. It's pure adulterated love here at GoofOn. Jeanette, right at 707. Mucho gusto, generoso. Conundrum! Here's my 5, David. Okay. Well, Conundrum, thank you. Welcome to the show. It's a mucho gusto, generoso. Canadian coin, so thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good to see you here on a Sunday night, as well as Dorothy Hawkins. Dorothy throwing down a 2 spot, £2. Why'd I say that? $2 super dono. It's all love. That's all that matters. Yeah, it is. It is. We have a lot to talk about. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you, everybody. You can help support GoofOn the same way. Super Chat, Super Sticker, PayPal, Cash App. All the links are in the show description, even on the home page of GoofOn. You guys know what to do. A little bit of roll call, never hurt anybody. Claudia Rodriguez is here. Welcome to the show. F.A.P.FAP. Yeah, we are a wacky bunch. Welcome to the show. Brookes, what do you say there, Chief? Zach Diecast Montsu. Welcome to the show. Donovan, I'm to the show. Bob Perkins, how you doing, ma'am? All right, I'm gonna try, Dorothy. I'm going to try to do a show like, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to try to do tonight's show like this. Hold on. This I don't like. Every time. Hold on. I can't. When I set up my show, I put a lot of it in my emails. But what I do is I put 10 or 11 tabs up on the browser, on top so you can see it. And they're all ready to go. But something must have happened, like a reboot or something. When I go to press on the tab, it has to load everything all over. And if there's a video, it starts playing. So I just had to go and turn off everything. And, it's just so frustrating. It is. Because you think you have everything set up. And I love it when the computer just does some random shit and everything's gone. Love that one. Yeah. And you can't do the control thing T and it doesn't bring them back up either. All right. Well, I'm going to try to do the show like a perpprofessional. Well, welcome, Bob Birkin. Sathemi, welcome. Glenn Collins, welcome. David Wilcox, not Wilcock, welcome. Intergalactic Angler, welcome. Hollywood, welcome. Hollywood Herald. Now, why do you got to change it? All right. Hollywood Herald. Glenn Collins, welcome to the show. Joe Monk, welcome to the show. Let's get started. All right. A little, hey, Peter McLeese, how are you? There he is. Ben, the Yorkshire Goophonian. How do you say, what do you be? Whoops, there goes another rubber tree plant. Hey, Foghorn Leghorn. How you doing? Been a minute, but you've been around. Thank you very much. I appreciate the $2 and it's a super dono. Appreciate the love, man. Thank you for hanging out as well and supporting the show. Appreciate it. Been a long-time visitor here, haven't you? Appreciate that. Got a lot of people who've been here for a minute. A couple of years. I appreciate it. I can't say appreciate enough. It's the appreciation hour. I hate saying it too. I appreciate it. And then people, I'm not going to say who, changed I appreciate it to I appreciate you. I hate that shit. I appreciate you. And how about this one? For those who can't pronounce last names, these people, I'm not going to say who, because nobody knows where it started. We have an idea. But my last name is Giordano. Oh, yeah. A lot of people can't pronounce Giordano because it's a G-I-O. Oh, the insanity. So they go, how you doing, Mr. Rich? And I say every time, it's Mr. Giordano, not Mr. Rich. And I get the attitude sometimes, oh, I'm sorry, I just didn't know how to say your last name. Well, ask. This way you know next time you see me to not sound stupid and call me Mr. Rich. I hate that shit. It's the dummying down of our society, year by year, word by word, sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, exclamation point by exclamation point. I hate it. And people are dummying down and following along with it. Whatever happened to stand up for what's right and correct people? Oh, God forbid you correct somebody nowadays, pull a gun and shoot you. It's true. You can't correct people anymore. I'm sorry. What do you mean I can't call you that? I don't like to be called that. It's not proper English. Oh, proper English. Oh, Mr. White. Mr. White man and his privilege. And we go that route. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I have to speak. Sometimes that should have been for the members video only. I'm sorry, Goophonians. Shouldn't have seen that. Who's this guy? Don't forget this.
That's the Department of Defense, ironically enough, to finish the very mission they gave me in the first place. I didn't ask for it. I'm not a UFO guy, not a ufologist. I never have been, I never will be. I'm a counterterrorism and counterespionage guy. I do counterintelligence, counterinsurgencies. That's what I do. And it just so happens that in 2008, I was asked to apply those same skill sets into the UFO community.
Just a little reminder. I didn't play it the other day. Let's not forget that, okay? Because he will be back when his book comes out. And I'm going to read it. And I am going to give an honest review. Hey, Bernie Muro's here. Welcome to the show, Mr. BM. Bernie Muro. Sorry, I said I wouldn't call you that anymore. Because you know why. But thank you very much, man. I appreciate the support every night. You're here supporting the show one way or the other. Mucho gusto generoso. I think an angel's just got her wings. Thanks, Bernie. Mucho gusto generoso. Welcome to the show. And while we're there, I heard it come in. Jeanette with $12.04 on PayPal. She did it. She rocked the world, burning the candle at both ends. Goofonians are alive and well here on a Sunday. When are we getting to the show? Well, we're there now. I love when people do that. Just start the show. Got the long intro, you do all your hellos, and then the super chats come in. By the time the show starts, it's already 30 minutes. Usually 10 to 15. But I appreciate you noticing the pattern of the show. Now you know. Because I'm not changing it. Thank you, Jeanette. Really, the angel of Goofon. I know, it's a live show. This isn't a premiere. This isn't something edited. It's live. It's like an event. It's a Sunday. It's an event. We're giving sermon today. This is my mass. Oh, I should have done that. From now on, we're going to have... Oh, no. I can't. But I have an idea. Well, because Sunday is football season now. There won't be any shows on Sundays. And Saturday, well, our good friend Ice Cream Shots does a show at 7. We may do midnight mass on Saturday nights into Sunday morning. Midnight mass with Goof on. Oh, yeah! I've got great ideas for that. Alien Bless, that was just the beginning. That's what triggered. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to have Alien Mass. We're going to have mass, midnight mass on Saturday. And I know some of you can't make it because it's so 5 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 9 p.m. in Hawaii. All right, here we go. I want to start off tonight's show talking about, because this is very important, because the next stage we're going into is the Avi Loeb stage in UFOlogy. I almost said in Goofology. In UFOlogy. Now it's Avi Loeb's turn. Can't speak. I got the Bidenisms tonight. I honestly feel this way about Avi Loeb. I think he is very, very dangerous to ufology and everything that's paranormal. He's dangerous. And I'll tell you why. Well, you see, Avi Loeb thought and was real adamant that Oumuamua was a light sail ship, possibly from another, interstellar, must be alien. He was the only one. But because he's Avi Loeb and he's a Harvard professor, when he made that comment, it went viral. Remember? Everybody's like, who's this professor? What the, Harvard? Come to find out, it's the most gullible, trash can professor. He reminds me of Oscar the Grouch, but with a better attitude. Just popping up, hey, everybody, I've got some more shit I want to talk about, and he comes out, we're going to be very nice. Oumuamua could be an interstellar spaceship. And he goes on and he talks so gentle and he talks in circles. He never really says anything at all. Ever. He just talks in circles. He really does. Everything he says has already been said by somebody else somewhere before. Everything he says isn't original. So he got so much attention. He loved it. And he wanted more. So he thought, why not write a paper about this Oumuamua? And, I'm open-minded, maybe a little more than I should be. But because I'm a Harvard professor with an ego bigger than anybody else's on the planet at this moment, I'm going to write about this rock because we don't understand how it sped up when it shouldn't have, and how it slowed down when it shouldn't have, and how it did this when it shouldn't have. And everything's been debunked. Oumuamua turned out to be nothing but a rock. Yeah, say what you want. Nobody knows for sure. I get it. But Avi Loeb didn't waver at all, and he still believes it. Who does this? Who else do we know gets debunked but still says, nah, I still think it's what I think it is? Jeremy Corbell does this. David Wilcock does this. Hoaxers do this. And then fast forward to Avi Loeb a little bit with his Galileo project coming to light. At least $100 million project to put up all those telescopes around the world looking into the darkest reaches of space for moving objects, alien ships. It's not only, I know what you're going to say. Well, at least he's tried. He's doing something better than nothing. But it's still worse than a chance of a needle in a haystack finding anything. What do you think astronomers have been doing for 50, 60 years? Pinpointing their telescopes at certain parts in the sky, looking at planets, and nothing's ever drifted in front. Oh, that was metallic. Oh, that was a UFO. I caught a UFO 100 light years away from Earth. And that's what I know Avi Loeb's going to look around the immediate area first. Same chances. It's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. And it's really painful to watch because I see so many people putting all in with this guy. And all he's doing is selling fantasies to everybody. He goes out into the middle of the ocean, scrapes the freaking floor of the ocean, comes up with these spheroids or whatever you want to call them, these metallic objects that were supposedly from a meteor that crashed into the sea. And as it cooled off, the metals appeared, which in Avi Loeb's mind was made by aliens. Am I wrong? Because that's what he's, right? Isn't that what he's looking for? Alien artifacts. How does he know? Do you know how many asteroids and meteors have hit? Let me slow down. Hold on. How many asteroids hit the Earth? Not meteors. Asteroids. How many? How many rocks have hit this Earth in that spot, in the ocean? How does he know? Because it's in the right space, it's in the right place, it's at the right time, and it's right. No. It has already come back that the analysis shows that this is a very, very unique metallic, of course. It got solidified, 40,000 miles an hour, burning up at insane heats, hitting the ocean. What do you think's going to happen? Of course those metals are going to go. It's not alien. This guy is so dangerous. He's giving false hopes, right? And the evidence, I believe, is being either falsified or exaggerated, same thing, basically, or changed. purposefully, with purpose. See, I think Avi Loeb's going to be put in a situation where he's going to lie about something he discovered, and he's going to get caught. And you know what people are going to do? Forgive him. Because he's such a nice guy. He's trying. Rich, what are you doing? Except sitting there complaining about somebody trying. I believe me, I see them. I get the emails. I do what I do. He does what he does. I'm allowed to criticize Avi Loeb, and he's allowed to criticize me. What I do is show the idiocracy, if that's even properly being used here, of Avi Loeb, of the UFO community, of the gullible people in this field that just automatically believe somebody without a shred of evidence. Hey, I'm all on board with anybody trying to do something to find evidence, of course. But let's not build it up into aliens and UFO ships until you're goddamn positive you got it. Until you're 100% sure. To get everybody riled up sells tickets. That's why I don't trust him. He's turning into a serious grifter if we're not careful. But he did something really good. I mean, I like it when people do something good too. Doesn't matter if it's Jeremy, Lou, this guy, or... Because he stood up to Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he told Neil deGrasse Tyson, why don't you do something? Well, I'll play the clip. Because Neil deGrasse Tyson you know what happened. He's just not what he used to be. He sold out.
I feel like UFOs are having a moment, Avi. We had the congressional hearings. It's sort of something everybody's talking about. It's all the buzz with these stories and the testimony. But it seems like in the scientific community, there's almost a different feeling, at least in relation to the latest developments in the hearings. I want you to listen to something Neil deGrasse Tyson said to Elizabeth Vargas, and then I'm curious what you think about it. Let's take a listen.
Well, in science, what people perhaps don't know is that eyewitness testimony is some of the lowest form of evidence you can bring to a scientific conference, which is odd because in the court of law, it's considered quite high. So here we are in these hearings thinking that the pedigree of the person delivering the information adds truth value to what they're saying. Whereas in science, part of what modernized science was our ability to create methods, tools, and machines to replace human senses in the reporting of what we experience. So I just need better data.
Okay, I want to stop it there. I agree with everything he said. We need better data. Fact. Well, we have it, but we won't be able to see it. So Neil deGrasse Tyson's basically saying we need to see the better data. So nothing wrong with what he said. I believe he's right. But let's hear what Avi Loeb says, which may one-up him.
I'm curious what you think, Avi, because, for us, it does feel like a moment. It's very exciting with the testimony, and it feels like we're getting new information. But do you agree with him? I mean, from a scientific...
Doesn't he look like Stan and Ollie, Avi Loeb? Oh, of course, Ollie. Look at him, right? What was the name of those two? Stan and Ollie? He could be the guy, Stan. Oh, I don't know, Stan. Or was it Ollie? The guy who scratched his head with the hat. That's Avi Loeb. He's Ollie Loeb.
Do you agree with him? I mean, from a scientific perspective, is it a little less is it more underwhelming?
Well, the problem is really that people like Neil are pretending they really care about data, but are not seeking the data. He is talking about it, but he is not practicing science. And
wait a minute. Nobody can practice science on UFOs. No one. There's no one in this world, unless they're secret black budget people that we never see here or will know about. But no, nobody. Nobody. Now I've heard what Avi Loeb said. Let's hear what else he's got to say. Yeah, he's telling Neil deGrasse Tyson to do some experimentation with what? With what? Words? Evidence from what witnesses said? Come on, man. It's funny. This is great stuff. Avi Loeb is way wrong with that. All right.
what I'm trying to do is go to the Pacific Ocean, where we know there is an object that came from outside the solar system, and study it. Now, it's...
But you don't know if that's it. And it isn't. So because Avi Loeb went to the ocean and raked the floor and pulled up these little anal beads that are absolutely nothing alien, he's telling Neil deGrasse Tyson to get out there and do something, you lazy prick, ya. That's what he's saying. Why don't you go out there and find the evidence? Why don't you try to find the hole in the sky, or what was it? Tear in the sky. We'll talk about that later as well. That bullshit story. This is amazing that Avi Loeb is telling Neil deGrasse Tyson to fake it, just like him. Fake it.
It's possible the government may have some materials, some evidence that we have no access to, but the sky is not classified, the oceans are not classified. And if Neil deGrasse Tyson was really curious about this question, he would have been seeking the evidence rather than saying, we don't have evidence, it's an extraordinary claim, you need evidence in order to say anything, but he's not actually doing it.
Do what? What? What does he want him to do? That would be like somebody telling me, Rich, do something. Other than talk, do something. I did. So you can't use that on me. I've already done my work. I've done it. My first 5-6 years in this field was all boots on the ground, every day, all day. Okay, 20,000 plus hours of it. Insane. I did the work. And now I talk about it. And I talk about what I see. And I talk about what I know. And I talk about the people in this field like Avi Loeb who have no clue on what they're doing. This guy doesn't know. He used people. You know how expensive it is to get a rig to go out and search shit in the Pacific Ocean, or any ocean for that matter? This was funded by somebody with, I don't know who, but I know it's out there. I just don't remember. I think they said it was something like 300,000. I was thinking more lines like $1 million at least. You know, you got to pay all the people. You got to pay for the boat. You got to pay for that shit. You got to get licensing. You got to get a lot of stuff cleared before you go start raking the ocean floor for alien. Of course, hey, Avi, I tell you what, nah, you don't have to pay for any fees today. Good luck. You know, they know. Avi Loeb reminds me of Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. He really does. That's exactly who he is. Tries his hardest to do the right thing, but just comes up short every time. And he uses his name and his status as a professor The same thing Diana Pasulka does, trying to push their status as professors as making them more credible than you or I. Actually, it makes them less credible. Let me tell you why. Because they don't go outside, they don't research, they don't know how cameras work, they don't know how shit works in Elements. All they do is go by data. And it's not even their data, it's somebody else's data. Yeah, I know Avi Loeb went along for the ride, but he wasn't down at the bottom of the ocean raking the frickin' floor.
And practicing science is very different from talking about science. He's talking about science. I'm practicing science. You know, I write scientific papers, I publish, and I actually follow the evidence. And so that's what we try to do now. What I find strange.
And everything you write about is fantasy. Oumuamua, fantasy land. It meant nothing. It confused everybody. But what it did, it got him notoriety. So what other stunt can he come up with, Avi Loeb? I'm going to put together 100 telescopes. We're going to look at dead space and shit. And we're going to go on in the middle of the Pacific, the largest ocean. We're going to look at pebbles on the ground. Sounds great. But what a waste of everybody's time and money for the ego that needs to be fed. Disgusting. You know why I say that? You know why I say it that way? Because it's not going to be alien shit. It's not going to be proven to be foreign, off-world planet bullshit. And anything that comes from Avi Loeb needs to get an independent third, fourth party to verify and nullify everything that's going on. And I say nullify because I don't trust anybody that's associated with Avi Loeb or Jeremy Corbell. You know? I'll try not to interrupt.
Is that many scientists resist this approach of trying to collect the evidence. Not only that they're not engaged in it, they are trying to push back and say it's a waste of time. And I say, you just sit back and relax.
You know, I have to interrupt. He says, there's people out there that won't engage with it. Yeah, because these are people who've been in the field for a long time, know a bullshit story or a bullshit scenario when they see it. But Avi Loeb just got sucked into this just recently. So for him, it's all gung-ho and let's go. Isn't that usually the way it is? Isn't that usually how it is? It's the people new to the field. That's how it was with me. When I was new, I was getting popular, everybody wanted to look at what I was recording, but nobody came over to look at the camera, to see if I was cheating, to see where I lived, to see if I lied. No, nobody cared. That, I always told I'm like, hon, why don't people care? I mean, I could be faking all this. She goes, true, yeah. Huh. It was only months after that conversation, meeting Jaime Maussan and seeing the corruptness. Ugh. I could have been Jeremy Corbell. Can you imagine? I'd be hated right now. I'd be dead. All right, I forgot what I was going to say on the rest of this, but here we go.
Let the science be done the way it should be done. And I am really curious if the government has materials or information that is currently hidden from view, because as a scientist, I agree with Neil that we need access.
Did he just say what I think he just said? Oh, I wonder if the government is keeping anything, from out of view. Oh my God, listen.
Let the science be done the way it should be done. And I am really curious if the government has materials or information that is currently hidden from view.
Oh my God. See? Do you see what I mean? Give me the big screen. Do you see what I mean though? could even bring that up as a question, rhetorical or not? How do you say something like that and expect to be taken seriously? Of course the government's hiding stuff, you bonehead, you.
Relax. Let the science be done the way it should be done. And I am really curious if the government has materials or information that is.
How does he, how would he not know that? And he's getting on Neil deGrasse Tyson for not doing research. And yet he's asking that question, whether it be rhetorical or not. Sounds like he really means it. And I'm wondering if the government really is concealing the good evidence from us. Oh, yay. See, he says stuff like that, and it's common knowledge, but he says it like, oh, geez, I wonder if the government really does cover up. I wonder if the rumors are true. He's acting so stupid, or he's stupid. I think it's both.
Currently, as a scientist, I agree with Neil that we need access to the data. So the fundamental question for me is whether we will learn about what lies outside the solar system by studying what's at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean before we learn it from politicians in Washington, D.C. Or maybe some miracle will happen and we will learn from government as well.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we're all waiting for the government to come through and tell us everything. But for people who don't realize, I mean, Avi was literally out there with this massive, rake, essentially, raking the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, this massive mission, and they actually found these little stones. And it was kind of unbelievable that you were even able to find these things out there. Yeah, there they are, right.
Hey, I got stones like that from my gallbladder. And gosh, all over lobes. Oh my God. I can't help but enjoy this. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
It's look at him. He's like a first grader. Show and tell. Tell us, Avi. What do you have, little Avi? I'll have a. What's that? Oh, it's funny. Thanks, Chicky. I have little aliens. You have aliens? No. Well, why would you lie, little Avi? I have alien pieces of the UFO. You do? Where is it? Well, it's at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. And when I get older, I'm gonna go get them and bring them back. Okay, Avi, you do that. 36 years later, and Avi Loeb showed up back at the very first grade with his teacher, who is now 89. Mrs. Schwedman. Oh, it's Avi. It's big Avi Loeb. What do you got for us? Beads. You still talk that way after all these years, huh? Yep. Thanks for the beads. I'll use them. Huh? No! It's amazing, this world we're living in. I know I'm being silly, really double silly tonight. Jeff Gavi throwing down $5 of love. Hey, I understand. It's goofonian love. It's to show the appreciation of all the truthology of ufology we give, whether you believe it or not. I don't know. Jeff, you've been around for a few years minimum. Thank you for supporting the show like normal. You always do. Whether you're here or supporting this way, I appreciate you. See, I did it again. I appreciate you. Oh, I got to come up with new verbiage. I'll think of something. Thank you, Jeff. Seriously. Mucho gusto generoso. Can't get rid of that either. It's just, it's stuck in me. Elmo, my throat is sore. So I can't do my baby voice like I used to. It'll come back around someday. Anyway, that's enough of Avi Loeb. He is living in a bubble. He's living in a bubble. Oh, is he gonna? Oh wait, maybe he'll show us to talk about those things. That's right. Let's see.
It's quite remarkable because these are less than a millimeter in size, and we searched across a region of 7 miles in length, and the depth of the ocean is more than a mile. And we managed to find those things. And, many of the scientists pretend to be a scientist, but they are not really seeking the evidence, and they push back with very strong opinions that are not supported by anything. So I'm saying, let's bring...
Oh my God. Avi does one thing. One piece of research. And now he's the master researcher. He's talking like he's been doing this for 30 years. Big screen, right? This guy's amazing. The ego on him. Oh, he goes out one time, does one research in the ocean, doesn't find anything, but says he did. But yeah, everybody knows it's all bullshit. 1 millimeter in size, these things. The whole ocean, and you literally found needles. This is the craziest thing. And he's acting like he's who? Indiana Jones. You know what I mean? He's got such an ego, this little man.
Bring back science to where it belongs, collecting evidence rather than talking about it in talk show.
He acts like he's doing, oh, no, yeah, you act like you do research. I do research too. How many times have you done it? Once, but it was a hell of a research. Shut off.
Speaking about the implications, of course, there would be huge implications. So I have a new book coming out actually in a few days. It's already available for pre-orders. And
oh my God, guys. Oh my God! Of course! Of course. Oh. I didn't watch the video all the way. That's the first time I didn't know he was going to do that until now. I had no idea. Because I didn't watch the rest of it because there's only 20 seconds left or 30 seconds left. I can't believe this guy. Yes, and you know what? My new book, Interstellar, The Search for Extra Testicles that I'm finding all over the Pacific Ocean. These testicles are, Avi, it's sphericals. What? That's what I say. You said testicles.
It talks about how significant such evidence would be for the future of humanity.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you know what? Here's a book this is the book he just wrote. That's what he just said. I wrote a book that explains what would happen if we had real evidence.
Talks about how significant such evidence would be for the future of humanity.
Duh. We know. Way to be original, AVI. This guy's the best and the worst at the same time. I didn't realize how much of a grifter he turned into. This is amazing to me.
It will inspire us to do better, to study what lies out in space.
And I hope when you read it, the accent is on, in the book. So when I read it, I hope I hear the accent.
Because it will be a wake-up call from a neighbor.
Thanks so much for watching.
God. So stupid. All right. That's about enough of that. And look, tonight's show doesn't have to stop at 2 hours. It can stop now. It can go to 3. We'll see how I feel. I don't know. I feel all right. I just had a cup of coffee. By the way, we're going to get a nice little hurricane. Yeah. In the next few days, there's a hurricane. Well, now it's a tropical storm. Lydia or Idea or something, Adalia. And it is brewing down all the way down in the where is it? Bahamas, something like that, south of Florida. And it's going to move to the north starting now. And it's either going to hit directly on where I live. I live 80 miles north of Tampa. And a lot of the models that they're showing show this storm. Either it's going to hit me or we're going to get hit with something no matter what. Unless something weird happens. But they're saying that once it gets to the Gulf and it hits that 80 to 90 degree water, this thing is going to blow up. It will reach a category 1, they're predicting, and possibly a 3. So we could go from a 1 to a 3 within 12 hours. I mean, this is crazy right now. They're already shutting schools down for the week. So people can leave now. I mean, this didn't happen when we thought we were going to get hit last year with the category 4. Nobody evacuated. This time, people are bailing. I've never seen anything like it here. So everybody feels confident it's coming. And we'll be right here. I'm probably going to go to my parents' home because in case something happens or, depending on how bad it gets, they may need help. I mean, you never know, right? And I'll be recording it. We'll go live if we can. It'll be this week's going to be fun. All right. Now here's something fun. And anybody remember this guy? Of course you do. UFO Jesus. Remember him? So Phil up here says, there's a new reality coming. Are you ready? Don't end up a stranger in a post-disclosure world. People want UFO Jesus back. So I wrote, awful. It's UFO echo chamber is more like it. He predicted disclosure in 2018, and when it didn't happen, he changed his prediction to 2019. But when it didn't happen again, UFO Jesus said, disclosure will definitely happen in 2020. And when it didn't happen, he lost the UFO Jesus garb, then put on a tie. If UFO Jesus can't make predictions, get rid of the gimmick and wear a tie. Now people will take him more seriously. LOL. Nah. He will always be the failure that is UFO Jesus. See, I have a check mark next to my name now. See that? Yep. I stepped it up so I can write longer shit. And that was right before the show. Just a little humor. UFO Jesus has never once acknowledged my existence. He was here in the show once, in the chat room. I remember about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. That was the same week Jeremy Corbell said he was going to come on and backed out. We had like 400 people here. And then he backed out. He promised. What a dick. All right. Speaking of, Dr. Disclosure 89 on X plays a video from Jim Semivan. And he says, this is a huge statement. This is what Dr. Disclosure says. He goes, this is a huge statement from ex-CIA Jim Semivan. There's an entity out there, Semivan says. There's some kind of non-human intelligence that's living with us on this effing planet. You got to hear it. The CIA, he goes on, keeps the mystery of UAPs alive, clouding the waters with misinformation. Are they protecting secrets or hiding the truth from the public eye? Why is everybody talking about shit as if it's the first time they've ever heard it? We've been saying this for years. Are they finally waking up to the reality that the evidence will never reach the light of day? Disclosure just won't happen because the egos that make all the money in the, we always say that, don't we? No, they don't want to lose any money. Nobody's going to lose any money. I just don't believe we have the technology that they say we have or that people think we have. Hey, look, you got all these people, they call themselves whistleblowers and they come out, they're hearsay blowers, and they say alien bodies. Yeah, we've got them. He didn't say alien. He said non-human pilots. That could be a dog, a cat, a gerbil. You notice how careful he was saying it that way? You know why? Because if he said alien, that opens up a whole can of worms. But if he says non-human, now you're like, you think non-human's alien. That's probably it. That's what they want you to believe. That's how they want you to take that for what it's worth. I don't think there are alien bodies. Could there be? Yep. I think they sent animals up in space. They fried, they got shrunk. Who the frig knows? Whatever. They set them up with suits, without suits. They tried everything. With chimpanzees, crickets, and birds, everything went up in space. Except for giraffes and elephants. I think a horse went up, right? Mr. Ed? It was Mr. Ed. That's right. That's when he said Wilbur. It was really cold in space and they kept that. That was horrible. God forgive me for that stupid joke. All right. Listen to Jim Semivan spew the lies. Oh, I can't stand him.
But I remember when it came out
that's all, folks.
The story was wrong. And I got a hold of Leslie and I said, it's not about $22 million and the Pentagon has a UFO program. It's about there's an entity out there. There's some kind of non-human intelligence that's living with us on this fucking planet. I'm sorry. I'm getting all wound up. That's the story. And she said they wouldn't let me run it like that. And it's still very, very difficult. So I give the New York Times a lot of credit for running this story, but for missing the big point. We're not alone.
You know what? He says it with such conviction, because he's been doing it a while. He's not a youngster. He's been doing this bullshit tour for a long time. And he knows the truth. He knows all of its bullshit. It is. You want to know why? All right. Those of you who are sick of hearing the negativity coming out of my mouth, where's the evidence? Yes, they could be amongst us. Yes, they could be assimilating into our culture and we don't even know it. Yes, they could be children in our schools that are hybrids. Yes, they could be our grandfathers. They could be our parents. Yes, I get it. I'm not denying that possibility. What I'm asking for is evidence. And not one shred of it has ever been out there. There's documents talking about cloning. There's, fake documents about hybridization programs and secret societies and all that. Do I believe in those? Yeah. You know why? because they've been recorded and shown to the world that those are real. So I believe that big owl in the middle of the desert or whatever that was. What is that? The BB group? I kind of want to say it. Right? Remember when Alex Jones did that? 17, 18 years ago, whenever it was? They were praying to the owl. Presidents, actors, influencers from all around the world were there. Why? To pay homage to what? Demons? Are we slaves? Are we? Are the powers that be, that are higher than the powers that be over us, are the powers that be actual aliens working alongside with the most powerful and influential people of our time? Because there's something bigger going on that we don't understand. You know what it reminds me of? The movie They Live. They Live is very close to exactly what I'm saying now. If you go along with what the aliens say, they'll make you rich. They'll give you magical powers on a watch where you can go from point A to point B in a flash. You can go on a device that'll shoot you to another planet in an instant. Would you trade in everything you know for that? I gotta be honest. I would. I would go along with whatever the aliens want. You want me to procreate? Set me up with somebody? But as long as I don't say anything, you're going to give me the ability to go to point A to point B and other planets in a flash. And among other things, wealth, anything I want. Is that what you're telling me? I'm in. Because I'm a human, greedy human, and I don't want to work too hard. Most people would take that deal. Is that what's going on in this world? When you think about how badly they don't want Trump in the White House, is it because he got close to learning the secrets of what's really going on? Is that what they're trying to do, is save us from him? Because he thinks he's doing a good job, but the reality is we can't break a deal with the aliens, and they don't want to tell him that. Wouldn't that be a trip? If this all had to do with aliens? Oh my God, that would be the ultimate. You see, you could turn anything into aliens, and I just did it. And I didn't even try that hard. But it could be true. A lot of people think that's why Kennedy was outed. Could have been part of the reason. Right? Yeah. All right. Let's listen to what the rest of Semi-Car has to say. Get it? Semi-van, semi-car. Semi-brain dead. All right.
And we never have been alone. And I think that's what Chris Mellon got across when he got the Navy. That's right. And again, the Navy is a very, very small part of this. The Navy is just this one little small program that they started because they were seeing all this stuff, right, on the East Coast and the West Coast and with the carrier groups. And that's how this all started. But that wasn't the real program. I mean, that's part of it, you know. But when the Congress saw the classified briefings, saw what I saw, they were dumbfounded. They wanted to know. They were angry, and they still are angry. Why weren't we told? Why didn't we know about this? Now, John can attest to this. This goes back a ways. This whole idea of keeping this hidden, because I personally believe there were, and I still believe to this day, from everything I know, there are no answers, in the sense that the government, the IC in particular, and the military have no answers.
The IC and the government have no answers. I thought they did. Hey, ice cream shots. What do you say? How do you be? Good to see you, man. Shelly Michelle. Howdy do. Lucas Marsich. How are you this evening? Good to see you. Blues Brother. Blues Batteries. I messed that up. I really did see Blues Brothers. That's bizarre. Good to see you. Jamie 777. Yep, I am. Chris, how you doing? Jamie 777. Rich, you an alien. I know. But nobody believes it. Why do you think? Maybe you don't know the story about when I was visited, but I'll tell it real quick, super quick. Half of you might know it. But the reason I know you're right, because I am an alien, and I woke up once because I felt pain in my right ear, and as I went to lift my head, a voice whispered in my ear,
"I'll be in your head before you wake up."
And I froze, and the voice was so close to my ear, the hairs were interrupted from its breath. It gave me a chill that went down my neck and the whole right side of my body. And I jumped up out of bed, turned on the lights, and nothing was there. Woke up the wife and the dog. It was just after 3 o'clock. And she goes, because a couple of nights earlier something happened. I'm not going to get into it, but it was a similar experience. And she goes, "What's wrong?" And I explained to her, and I have tears coming out of my eyes because it was very emotional. Everything went through me at once. And I go, and I explained to her, and then I did the voice. And when I did the voice, and I said, "Here's what it sounded like.
I'll be in your head before you wake up."
And when I did the voice for the first time, I said, "Holy shit. That's exactly what it sounded like." That was me disguising my voice. For me. Who's got a story like this? I don't know. But that's not the end of it. So now I'm freaking out and I go, "Oh my God, I'll be in your head before you wake up." That's me telling me I'm going to be in my head. I can't. She goes, and she just brings this up out of nowhere. She goes, "Did you see there were, I think there was the police were out front earlier before you came up to bed?" And that was like around midnight. And I said, I go, "Yeah, I thought I saw some lights going by or something, but, I was in the backyard or whatever and didn't pay much mind to it." So I take the dog out for a walk. It's about 3:15. And we go across the street. Now, at that time, I just moved into a new subdivision. The only house. But they still had up the fairways that would divide the subdivision and the homes and the streets. 300, 400 yards of grass, and it slopes in so all the flood waters go in there. So I go across the street to that fairway, and in the grass were 3 circles. Like crop circles. And they weren't from they were close together. I have the photos. I still have photos of them. But there were 3 circles formed, of course, a triangle, of course. But it was really cool, very tightly wound. There was no pop-up sprinkler head or anything like that. There was a swirl around it, all 3 of them. So that was that night. And that's why I do believe that this shit does happen. A lot of times, you know, I've dismissed many things that I could have said were actual abductions or experiences with aliens, whatever. But I've been having these dreams for a long time, on and off. So when somebody says they were abducted or had an experience, I want to hear the details. I want to hear if it's similar to mine. And I've yet to find a story that matches up to mine. I'll be in your head before you wake up. Like, why? What do you mean? Are you going to control everything I say? Am I an avatar for you? What am I? Am I a hybrid? Do I not bleed, or is this just transmission fluid? You know, how does this heart keep beating electrical impulses throughout my body? How? Where's the wiring for that? Oh, it's all the veins and everything. Gotcha, okay. Oh, okay. It all runs up here from the brain. Got it. So that's the computer. All right. That sucks. But at least I still think I have the illusion of free will. But it really impacted me hearing that. I'll be in your head before you wake up. What, is it an implant? Hey, there's something on my neck that feels like it's something that shouldn't be there. So I'm going to have that looked at next week. But if we are alien hybrids, then when we get abducted or things happen, is that them coming in to fix us up, or what are they doing? Checking us out, taking our vitals? Yeah, probably. I mean, the best place to go is the anus, because that's the digestive tract. It's like going to Nazca. Yeah. You get the whole history of that person right up there. It's the best place to go. Of course they're going to go there. All right. Next is this is one of the newest grifters who, in the last year or two, has taken ufology by storm. And I'm talking about Ross Coulthart. He's from that side of ufology, the side that you can't trust. He sold out immediately. He had no interest in doing the right thing for ufology. This guy is proving now, more than ever, that he is the next grifter to look out for. He is awful. He is a dirty journalist. And I don't like the games he's playing. He's playing both sides. He acts like he's friends, just to get information. Dirty. But he doesn't give a shit what anybody thinks. And that's what makes him dangerous. Because he will say or do anything for headlines. That's Rose Cuckold. Watch this. I'll play this. Here's one of his bolder comments that he can't provide any proof to. And he should be in a lot of hot water for saying this.
Just a quick question in regards to the non-human intelligence. Do you know what form it's in, and can you tell us?
I do.
Do you know what form it's in? And he says, I do. He knows what the aliens are. Is that what I'm hearing?
I do.
Listen.
Do you know what form it's in, and can you tell us? Intelligence.
Listen.
Do you know in regards to the non-human intelligence? Do you know what form it's in, and can you tell us?
I do. Well, at least I do know what I've been told.
Oh my God. Did you hear how that went? I do. And then everybody laughed, thinking that he knew something. And then he comes back and says, well, from what I've been told. He was hoping he wouldn't have to answer anymore, talk about it, and he wanted to leave it. Just that I know stuff without a follow-up. But the follow-up happened. Man, what is going on? I find this to be extremely dangerous. I'll do one more time.
It's in, and can you tell us?
I do. Well, at least I do know what I've been told, and I'm sorry I can't go there at the moment.
All that for that. You see what he tried to do, though? You know? Unbelievable. Wow, what an ass.
I'm working on further revelations to come out very soon. I promise you that when I'm able to talk about that, I will.
Oh, okay. There you go. There's the out. I promise you, when I'm able to talk about it, which means never, I'll let you know. He just gave himself the out. See? Details matter. Pay attention to all this stuff, and you find out he really is lying. It's amazing.
It's for a very, very good reason. It's to protect,
of course,
largely sources and methods who are helping me, and you'll see why soon.
You'll see why, guys. It's to protect the sources and the means, or whatever he said. That's all. Just, you know. But you'll find out. You'll find out when I'm allowed to tell you. When I'm allowed to tell you, I'll tell you. But until then, I ain't saying shh. But just know this. I know stuff. Ross. Yes, love. Can you tell us anything about what you know? Sure. Well, can you? Oh, now? No. No, next week when you're lying in bed. Yeah, now. Unreal, these people. Oh, this. Yeah, let me see. Hold on. All right, I'll read this. This is from UFO Jesus, but well, watch. I can't speak. Check it out. No, big screen. There you go. So he says, Ross cuckold in Need to Know's latest podcast. It says here, it has been conveyed to me by multiple sources now that if the Schumer legislation, the legislation that demands that both the defense and intelligence community and private aerospace reveal what they know about non-human intelligence or non-human intelligence technology, if that amendment doesn't go into the legislation at the end of this year, I'm told, any form of public disclosure of what they know will be delayed by years. Oh my God. So Stephen Greenstreet says, the truth about aliens on planet Earth all rests on words written by a New York senator? Give me a freaking break. This is backtracking and denial. A few years? Always a few years. Y'all have been had by a circus troupe of morons. And then this person says, Dr. Dan Villiers, what do you think of Diane Pasulka? When I hear a college professor who publicly stated she did not believe but now does after being shown proof, it makes it harder to dismiss this at the end, at the level you have. Yes, it does. God, people just believe other people because they're a professor. They don't even care about seeing the evidence. It's okay. Diana Pasulka saw it. She's a professor. Why would she lie? You know, haven't we learned? No. How goes the channels? Channel analytics are awful. This is the worst it's been in 3 years. Yeah. It's okay, though. You know, whatever. I don't care anymore. I can't win. YouTube controls how many people come here, how many subscribers, how many everything. You can't win, so complaining about it, it doesn't help. So, you want to know? There you go. You can easily look at the views on the channel. Go back 2 weeks and then go back another week. And you can see 1,200, 1,200, 1,200, 1,200. The week before that, 13, 14, 14, 13, 14. The week before that, 1,500, 1,300, 12, 13, 12, 13. Last week, 7, 800, 900, 800, 900. I can't win. So what am I going to do? It is what it is. We're shadow banned. And that's just that. So let's get back to work. We'll do what we got to do, right? We're here now. And I tell you, I don't want to leave. I'm not giving up. I've got a lot of plans that I still want to go through and pray to God, because this is the best I've felt in a long time. I thought I felt good before, but I think I'm starting to get around to being me again. And that's a good thing, because we got a lot of work to do. I still want to do those paranormal investigations, the ghost hunts. So we've got a very busy couple of months coming up. And then I can't talk about December just yet. All right. So, well, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm going to Tampa. I'm going to go to Clearwater Beach for the hurricane, depending on where it's going. And I want to get out on the pier. If they haven't closed it off or anything, I want to go out there and get some really good shots. So we'll see. Got a lot of stuff going on. All right. This story makes me laugh every single time I see it. Every time. The wormhole. The tear in the sky. Why am I getting this agita? The tear in the sky. The wormhole. Yeah. Hold on, let me pull it up. These people are so adorable. No, they really are. I mean it. I mean that with all love and no respect. Wormhole of flashing lights over UFO hotspot island baffles scientists. They're still talking about that, Catalina. Like it just happened. Look at this. August 26, 2023. What are they going to tell us? It says here, look at it. Terrifying footage. Terrifying? Terrifying, guys. Of a footage of a wormhole of flashing lights over a reported hotspot island has left scientists baffled. A clip appears to show fizzling or flashing lights in the sky over Catalina Island off the coast of Southern California. Skies over the island and the wider coastal area have been long subject of UFO speculation, with the number of reported sightings over the years. So, experienced Air Force pilots have reported alleged UFO sightings. We know all about it. The footage on the History Channel shows more lights, with the host Tony Harris explaining some of its background. He tells viewers the clip was captured on July 16, 2021, when a group of scientists was on a week-long expedition near the island, adding shortly before 4 a.m., one of their motion detection cameras in night vision captured this. And where's the captured this? There's a video I need to play. And I don't know what happened. Here it is.
The launch of the brand new James Webb Telescope is a giant step forward as we try to determine.
Research group UAPX is on a week-long right-hand corner of the frame. A black hole suddenly appears in the sky.
How embarrassing. How can anybody who has a brain go on a TV show and say this is a black hole? How can anybody do that? I'll tell you how. Cha-ching. That guy was paid off. There is no way anybody in their right mind would say such a thing.
Sky. But take a closer look. Do you see that? A cluster of small dots begins to materialize inside, and researchers don't think they're mere stars. Physicist Dr. Matthew Shadagis is one of the researchers with the project.
Have you ever heard of Matthew Shadagis? Has anybody ever heard of him before? Me neither. That's like getting Rich Giordano, somebody that nobody's ever heard of. Who cares? I need somebody who's in the business, who knows CGI, who knows cameras, who has seen this glitch before. This is a glitch. This isn't some portal. Because let's all think logically before we all fall apart here. Can we do that for a moment? Let's think logically here. All of this technology that aliens supposedly have, and all of that technology to stay hidden from us, right? They're going to make an obvious black hole be seen where UFOs are apparently seen. So they're going to make themselves visible here. After all those years of hiding and doing everything to discredit, this is going to be the one that proves there's a portal in the sky. You have a smudge, a discoloration. You can see it, right? See it right around here. You have smudges here, blackness over there, stuff over here. But for some reason, these little dots appeared over here. Now, the weird thing is, I've seen something similar on one of my digital cameras. And it happened when I had it staring at the sun by accident for too long. And a couple of white dots appeared. Now, that's not this, but I'm saying it could be something very similar. And the one thing that these people don't do is try to recreate it.
This is very strange because this timestamp of this video does match with one of our most anomalous, highest energy events that we recorded in our radiation sensor.
Oh my God. This guy has no idea.
Because UFO cases have historically involved radiation, the team came prepared with a radiation sensor. In normal circumstances, the average reading is about 1 to 2 mega electron volts, but at the time of the anomaly, it jumped to 43. According to writer MJ Banias,
That's above my pay grade. I don't understand why that would happen. I don't understand it. It's interesting. I can only play so much of this, so because it's History Channel, I just realized it. Damn it. But they do, I gotta be honest, they do make a good case for it, though. They make a really strong case for that being something that it's unexplainable. And I agree. It's unexplainable, but I don't think it's what they hope it is. I don't think it's a black hole. If it was, there would be a lot more activity than just dots. How do you know? You're right. I don't know. But from what history has taught us about black holes is that they're very fatal. So, for one to just appear, over the Catalina Islands, and nothing else happened, Stop it, chickie. It's not that funny. MJ Bananas. MJ Bananas. Oh, I got to talk about this. This is how we're going to... All right, you ready? Now, prepare to be offended. No, not what you think. Your belief system. Just be prepared. Because you're going to be mad. Everybody gets very emotional when it comes to 9/11. So check out what Bajorky Thor says. You're not going to believe this. He says the tragedies of Pearl Harbor and September 11th both involved failures of our air defense systems. The ET hypothesis is a valid and serious issue, but that controversial topic should not distract Congress from its important duty to assess the effectiveness of America's air and space surveillance systems. First of all, dickweed, the tragedies of Pearl Harbor and September 11th were not a failure of our air defense system. They were done on purpose. What? No? Yes! It was allowed to happen. So that's a little different than saying our air defense system failed, because it did not. They were aware of the airplanes for many minutes, but just coincidentally, all the F-16s or F-18s or whatever were away on training exercises and not in that area. What a coincidence. So yeah, there was a problem that day. But I'm afraid if I say any more, people will lose their minds. But it wasn't that. It wasn't that our air defense systems failed. This guy goes on. From a national security standpoint, the country needs to know how effectively this massive and complex system is functioning. That won't happen until Congress presses for answers regarding the performance of systems whose effectiveness has recently been brought into doubt by the Chinese balloon incident. Oh my God, people are so naive. First of all, dummy, we knew the Chinese launched the balloon 3 days before it reached the coast of America. We knew all about it, ding dong. Where's your research? Where's the research? Nobody does any research anymore. That's the problem. And then people make comments like that, which gets me fired up. And then I make comments like that, which gets you fired up. And it's never-ending cycle because somebody doesn't know what they're talking about and I brought it to light. And I may not know what I'm talking about, but it sounds good. So frustrated. People are so weird. It was the air defense system. It failed. No! We allowed it to happen both days. Schmuck. Christmas, Pearl Harbor. You know what? I think I have one video here of a UFO. Hold on. Oh, this is a good one. Do you know Third Phase of Moon? They have a video of a UFO. This is from a couple of years ago. It is one of my favorite sightings of all time, where a propeller, whatever, engine plane was just going along, and then this tic-tac shaped object came right up to it, to the wing, and then you could see it go, it changed direction, went over it, then it slowed down and took off. If that's CGI, it's the best thing I've ever seen, but this reminded me of that. I don't know if this is it. I don't think it is. Here we go. 5. It's a good video, but I don't know if it's real or what. Big screen. You can put me in there. Thank you. Make it big. Here it is. No volume. Oh, that is similar. Oh my God. I wonder if this is another angle of that video. Why is the plane turned that way? Yeah, it looks like it went behind it. Wow, very similar to the one Third Phase has, but this isn't nearly as good. It's interesting, though, isn't it? Watch. It stopped behind the wing, too. When I stopped the video, you can see it was behind it. Try to get that again. See? It's a good video, man. It's a balloon? I don't think so. I don't know any balloon that'll overtake an airplane. It's pretty good, man. It looks like it's wings on it. Oh, it's a bird. I knew it. Could be a bird. Well, I've got a members video I'm doing later. But I want to get you guys pumped up. Let me pump you up a little bit. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Oh, no. Hold on. All right. I love this guy. You know, just have a little fun with this. Little heavy metal laughter.
You're giving our administration legal strategies. You're working, Lord, and among those strategies, you frustrated the enemy. You caused them to turn on themselves. You caused them to reveal their hand. You caused their plots to be exposed.
on. How could you not enjoy that even just a little bit? That's unbelievable. If System of a Down were from India. All right. That is Andre ANTUNES. Very talented guy. He's got a great sound too. Very good sound. We did the one that was the COVID one. That was awesome. That's how I found this guy. Let's see what this one is. She's back. Karen Metal.
Cynthia, you are the reason we're in what we're in this country. Because it's people like you that have proof right in front of their faces and they can't see the truth. I did not create that account. Wake the f*** up. That is why I am screaming. I am screaming. Wake up. People are dangerous. They made that account likely just to respond to me. You are stupid. You are ignorant. Shut the fuck up. Wake up. How do you think it was like in Nazi Germany before everything fell? You're stupid.
Wow. That's a real person who's angry. Stephen Mason throwing down £5, £5. I think you're spot on with much of what you say, Rich. Much of? Spot on? Way on. Most people miss the details of which you speak, but it is the detail that matter. You know why I started saying details matter? It's something my father used to tell me growing up. And he always used to tell me that. Because anytime I tried to lie to him, he would know. And I'm like, how does he know? So we had a talk about things like years later. You know, when you get older and you're having Thanksgiving, you're like 30 years old and you start telling your parents down while you were watching the house. Kind of one of those situations was happening. And he said, I know you guys had a party, And I'm like, no, we didn't. And he goes, every time you tell me a lie, you have to remember the details of that story. And it's not easy to remember every detail lie. Because when you tell a lie, you have to create another. And after a while, you can't keep everything in line. 6 months later, somebody might ask you about that same exact thing, and you're going to accidentally slip up because details matter. You got to remember, if you're telling the truth, to give those details. Anybody who ever gets an email from me, you ever notice how I don't just say one word or one sentence? I go into a pretty long paragraph or two because I'm giving details of the questions I know you're going to want to know. You're going to want to ask. So I do a preemptive email by telling you all the things that I know you're going to ask me, because I've always been trained that way to give the details. So it's just in me. Stephen, I'm glad that you feel this way, because when I started watching, it's a TV show with a very big guy, and he's ex-military, won a bunch of awards. I want to say it's his last name starts with, but I got it from that. That rejuvenated the details matter. So thank you very much for the £5, £5 there. And I don't want to forget Crash Dive, who's new to GoofOn with the super sticker of $2. Thank you very much. I appreciate you hanging out. And you know, I didn't get to it sooner. You put that in about 6 minutes ago. Oh, okay. Stephen Mason, see now, you put yours in at 8:15. I just saw it for the first time. That's bizarre. Crash Dive, thank you very much. I appreciate your support because that's your first one. Thank you, Crash Dive, for the $2 super sticker. It means a lot coming back good. Because details matter. Thank you very much. Part of the family now. Understand? Capiche? Thank you guys. Appreciate it. So this is why Bob Lazar's story matters. Because he comes back 3 decades later, pretty much said the same thing he said. Right? So, whether or not you believe him, you believe Phil Schneider, you believe David Fravor, David Grush, or any whistleblower, just remember one thing. Seriously, and I don't mean to be raining on anybody's parade, but just remember this. When has any of this ever given us disclosure? Oh, that's right. We're still waiting for it. We'll be back tonight, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, if weather permits. Wednesday's the big day. The storm's supposed to hit near 8 o'clock in the morning. I'll know if we're going to be doing a show in Tampa, on the road, or at my parents' house, or at home. But either way, we're going to have a good week. So tomorrow, got a good one. I got a lot of stuff to talk about still. But thank you very much for hanging out. And you know, on a final thought, Mexico is going to have their UFO hearing. Is it historic? Yeah. Would it mean more if go up? To me, it would. Would it mean more if more of U.S. pilots showed up? I think it belittles what Mexico's doing. I think this is a bad move by Mexico, inviting anybody from America to speak at this hearing. I think it takes away what it wants to do. Because now I get the feeling they're being influenced to do things a certain way because it's a congressional hearing. Now I feel like America stuck their nose in their business when they didn't need to. Why did Mexico Graves? Did they do it, or were they influenced to invite Graves over? And is Graves going over to be a spy for the Americans to see what's really going on? Doubtful. Because you know that Mexico's already got everything ready to go, or maybe not, but it's September 12th. So it's 2 weeks away. It's going to be great. We're going to go live when that goes live. But I don't trust it. And I don't like that America has to be involved. First chance to go public with the UFO hearing with the government. If Italy did this, would they invite Graves? If the British did this, would they invite Fravor? Why? Do it. Mexico has a love for UFOs. So maybe Graves going in there kind of keeps things on a keel. Stupid if that's the case. I don't like it. But that's what's going on. I believe they need somebody there, even though he's representing us, the U.S., Graves. I think this is bad for ufology that he's going there, especially for Mexico. They can't even get away from the shadow of the American government. Who can? The American government, when it comes to UFOs, they gotta have their nose in it. Why do you think they brought in Lou Elizondo? To sneak around and see what we're all thinking. And you know what? All he had to do was ask. Didn't have to sneak around. See, that's the government. When the government doesn't trust you, it's because they're doing something nefarious and bad towards us. It's that same syndrome, the jealous boyfriend thinks his girlfriend's cheating. Why? Because every day he's trying to get laid outside the marriage. So he thinks if he's doing it, his wife is doing it. And then he goes home and accuses her of doing all this shit. Meanwhile, he's doing it. Because he knows what it's like to be disrespectful to someone else. He wouldn't want it done to himself. That's why those guys are the worst of the worst. They're bad to work for. They're bad to be friends with. And definitely you don't want a relationship with these people. They're power-hungry egomaniacs who will do nothing to get what they want. And that's our government. Our government is the jealous boyfriend. And they don't want us to have any fun because, God forbid, we figure it out and went worldwide with it before they did. Oh my God. Why do you think so many people go missing who come up with great ideas that could change the world? Because the government wants that power and control. Remember that. Especially the American government. Thank you, everybody. Be safe this week. All right? Tomorrow's Monday. My 9 to 5ers, just enjoy it. Just keep tuning in. We'll have some good weather videos coming up throughout the day on Tuesday night, Wednesday. It's going to be a fun week. We'll be back. I know I said it 20 times. I just hate long goodbyes. Or I hate saying goodbyes. I don't know what I was saying. All right. Be safe. Be kind. And daily and blessed.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. God have mercy on your soul.
Control life. Warning. Warning. Failure. Control life. Warning.
Unidentified flying object.